CalSavers and new state mandates on offering your employees retirement plans is right around the corner. It starts in June of 2022, which is, we're here already, gentlemen, right? So if you're a business owner with 5 or more employees, full-time or part-time, the state of California is requiring and mandating that you offer those employees a retirement plan, and if you don't, you face steep penalties for non-compliance. As the deadline quickly approaches, business owners are confused and asking a lot of questions like, what the hell is CalSavers? How do I log in? How do I comply? What do I need to tell my employees? And everyone is more so wondering, what the hell is the cost going to be to me as a business owner, both cost in time and money? With the CalSavers deadline less than 60 days away, you have very little time to act. So here is what you need to know about CalSavers, these new state mandates, and who needs to comply, how they have to comply, and what's the best ways to do so, and how it could impact your business. I'm Colby McFadden with Quiver Financial. I'm joined with Patrick Morehead. I'm saying Patrick. I'm looking at Justin. Yeah, Patrick Singletary and Justin Morehead. I'm joined with Patrick Morehead and Justin Singletary, our CalSavers and retirement experts at Quiver Financial. Gentlemen, there's a lot going on here that business owners need to know. So let's start. And for the slide guy, next slide, let's start with talking about who needs to comply with these particular state mandates. Let's start with you, Patrick.
Yeah, I mean, as you said in the beginning, briefly, it's anybody with 5 or more employees, whether it be full-time, part-time, anybody based in California, whether you're nonprofit, for-profit, it doesn't matter. You have to comply with the mandate. Now, they say that it's optional. And sure, it is. If you don't want to partake in the CalSavers, you can offer your own private plan, whether you have one in place now or you do one before the June 30th deadline. That's how it's only optional, and that's kind of the exempt factor, is if you don't want to do CalSavers, you enroll in a private plan.
Got it.
Now,
okay.
CalSavers is an employee-contributed Roth IRA. It can't be employer contributed, and so the employee actually owns the account, and they take it from job to job if they were to leave. Now, if they were to leave, that's just more work on the business owner to register, deregister, and all that type of stuff when it comes to CalSavers.
Okay, but I mean, really, the bottom line of the people who need to be concerned with this is going to be a California business owner with 5 or more employees, full-time, part-time.
Yep.
Whether they're seasonal or long-term, right?
Yep.
So that's really the key. I mean, if you have less than 5 employees, okay, you don't need to worry about this. However, if you're at 4 employees, you think you're going to grow to 5 or 6, then you've really got to understand what this means to you, because the impact on your business, depending upon what kind of business you have, is pretty significant.
And there is no probationary period. So it's not like, okay, I have a 30-day probationary period for my company. No, it doesn't matter. Day one of hire, day one of registering with CalSavers.
That's a good point. So Justin and I were thinking, hey, how can we show people a workaround for this CalSavers thing? And we thought, oh, well, you know what? As a business owner, why don't you just extend your probationary period, right? Like make your probationary period a year. Like, hey, you have to work for us a year before you're eligible for benefits. But as Justin and I have found, that doesn't work. Because the way, and when we get into like a couple slides from now, we're going to show you the process that you have to go through to register with CalSavers, and that's where you'll see this extending the probationary period doesn't work. So we'll get into that in a second.
And if you're wondering, well, how does California know that how many employees they have or what? Well, that's where the EDD comes in, and they have a strict record of how many employees you have, and that's how they're going to actually enforce the fines is through EDD. So there is no way around it. People have fought it to try and get rid of this, saying this can't be legal to do this type of thing. No, the Ninth Circuit put it down, and they're not even allowing any more appeals. So it's here to stay.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a payroll system, you provide payroll, you put those quarterly reports in. Government sees all that stuff, right? So, all right. So let's talk about and for our slide guy next slide on the YouTube Live. Which, if you're watching this on Zoom, I'm going to suggest that for the future we all come into the new ages, right? And go to YouTube Live, and we'll have a lot more fun there. So now, what are the penalties? So let's say you're a business owner, and you're saying to yourself, yeah, you know what, this is cute, but I'm a little defiant. I don't want to do this, right? And I know, Justin, you really dug into the whole penalty aspect. So if a business owner doesn't want to comply, what's the penalties?
I would say that's not a good idea. No, for the business owner, look, if you're not going to comply, you're going to end up incurring a $250 penalty per employee within the first 90 days. If you go 180 days outside of compliance, you're going to tack on an additional $500, so that's $750 per employee. So when you go to pay your taxes at the end of this year, your tax preparer is going to look at you and be like, hey, so I noticed you didn't have your 401k or your Roth IRA, whatever retirement plan set up. You're going to incur some penalties. And so you can do the math. We'll do some simple math. 10 employees, $750, that's $7,500. Pretty steep for a not complying.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, maybe I'm not that defiant. Maybe I'm not that brave, So what's really trippy about this is the more employees you have, the bigger risk that you have. And for a company like Quiver Financial that has 5-6 employees, or a lawyer firm or something like that can do a lot with few employees, okay, it's not that big of a burden until we get a little bit deeper into the conversation. But man, if you're a restaurant owner, if you have 20 employees, some that are there for think about a restaurant owner. They might have a couple servers that have been there many, many years, bartenders, because they're making good money. And then they have people who are doing the dishwashing and busboys and, that are coming and going. And they constantly were going to have to be complying with this as people come and go out of their business. It's a completely different level of compliance when you think about that.
A lot of things in retail, coffee shops, clothing stores, that have the high turnover is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, so like Patrick was saying, is that anything that has significant employees and turnover is going to have a struggle here. So, that brings us up to the next slide and the next question, which is what are your options, right? So you're a business owner, you're hearing this, you realize, yes, I have 5 or more employees. What do I do? What are my options here? And really, bottom line is this. You've got 2 options. You can either go to CalSavers and register your business and register your employees with CalSavers, or you can set up your own employee-sponsored plan, like a 401k. So, Patrick, let's talk just a little bit about the differences. So as a business owner, a lot of times, business owners were like, hey, we're looking for ways to attract talent and keep them. And so now all of a sudden, I'm having to offer a retirement plan. So now I got this choice. I can offer CalSavers or I can do something else. And I also want to attract talent. So what's the difference between what CalSavers offers and then what maybe a self-driven employer plan like a 401k is?
Right, yeah. So CalSavers is just a Roth IRA plan. So it's very limited to the investor in general. And you can only contribute $6,000 as the slide shows versus a 401k plan. They can contribute a lot more. But more deeper into it is you have more options for the employee to invest in. There's more investment choices and things like that, plus a lower fee structure for the investor to invest in. I mean, you can't take out a loan against the CalSavers plan. There's really a high management fee. It's run by the state of California. Granted, it's privately managed, but the state has influences. I mean, when does the state of California ever really get anything right when they run anything? So,
well, you bring up a thing. I mean, good point. Because when I looked at this, because I was looking at it saying, okay, do I set up a 401k for our firm, or do I go with CalSavers? And really what made the difference for me is when I looked at what CalSavers offered, I couldn't look at you and Justin and think to myself, oh, I'm going to offer this, because if I show you guys this on the other slide, it's a significant difference of what CalSavers offers compared to what you can get on 401k. So, Justin, I mean, you did most homework out of all of us about all the different investment options that a CalSavers has. So what did you find is the biggest difference between what CalSavers offers the employee and then what you could find maybe in a private plan? And both of you guys can handle that, but, why not?
So I'll start. So with the CalSavers plan, it's very simple. You're going to go in, you're going to register, they're going to set you up with a Roth, and once you get through that, you're going to have about 10 options. They're all target date funds. There's a few ESG funds, which are, you guys can look up what you need to for that, but more environmentally, stable funds, I guess, if you want. But what's important is you're going to have 10 funds to choose from. They're going to be managed by a separate company outside of CalSavers. And I think what everybody needs to pay attention to is you're going to be paying anywhere from 85 basis points, or basically 85fths of a percent, or 95fths%, however you say it.
95 cents on every dollar.
Yeah, there we go. It's a better way to put it. So the fees that you're going to be paying as an employee are going to be extremely high for something that isn't really being managed. You're picking something that says, hey, I'm 30 years old today. I'm looking to retire when I'm 60. So you're going to pick the fund that chooses when you're 60, and you are going to be lumped in with everybody else that chose that same fund to retire on that same year. And there's no management there. I mean, the person that's managing the fund, sure, they're doing their job, but the state isn't doing anything. They're just taking the money from you to put in their pocket, is one way I look at it. So it's not really, what it's all cracked up to be, in my opinion.
I think one of the things that we need to stress, too, is that this is not just for your employees. You are considered an employee of your company. So if you have 2 full-time, 2 part-time, well, now you're an employee. So you have to comply as the employer as an employee of your own company. And if you think about it, it's really hard for employers to save for retirement. They're busy spending money on their business and all that type of stuff. So, I mean, do you really want your own investments in these type of investment strategies? Because this is one option for you.
I mean, I looked at that as a business owner. I was like, okay, I can, CalSavers, easy fix, right? I just go in there, I start playing around, do what I got to do. Not much thought to it. But then when I started to dig into it and think to myself, okay, do I want my retirement set up in just a handful of selections, like 10 target date funds? Considering the profession we're in, that'd be kind of silly, right? So I definitely, after doing more homework, realized for my own investment needs and my own retirement, like if I'm trying to optimize my retirement, if I want to retire earlier than imaginable, then you know what? I need something other than CalSavers, right? So that's what brings us up to the next conversation, because when you understand the process that you have to go through when you go to CalSavers, then you realize that you're in this world of this time or money dilemma, which is the next slide. And this time or money dilemma is, hey, do I invest my time and energy to comply with CalSavers, or do I give a little bit of money to do so? And what I mean by that is, if you follow this process that you see on the screen right here, which is you as a business owner, if you decide you want the do-it-yourself option, then go to CalSavers, and you're going to get a welcome email. You're going to go in there, and I will do this. I have to give CalSavers, I know you guys don't want me to, but I have to give CalSavers a compliment on their website, because it is very simple. They've done a good job of being able to maneuver the website. Now, that doesn't make it easy.
That's about all they've done.
But they did. So when you go in there, you register, And then once you register your business, and the moment that this is where, folks, we talked about that stretching out your probationary period as a way to try and work around having to offer CalSavers to your employees. That's not how it works, because the moment that you register your business with CalSavers and the moment that you register an employee, the clock starts ticking, and 30 days from there, CalSavers is going to expect some type of payroll deduction to come into the account. Or they expect the business owner to be sending money to CalSavers as part of that payroll deduction. So this is where I think it's really, really important for the business owners to understand that they have a choice. Because when I looked at this for us, and I thought to myself, right now, right at this current moment, when I process payroll, it's like a 5-6 minute process. It's all set. I go in there, hit a few buttons, make a couple changes, make sure it's correct. Boom, I'm out of there, right? Every 2 weeks, I spend maybe 10 minutes doing payroll. After enrolling and going through the CalSavers process, what I realized, wow, if I have to now then send money every 2 weeks to CalSavers for this, my level of payroll processing, because what happened with us is I contacted our payroll provider and said, hey, do you have integration with CalSavers? And they said, no, we don't have integration. You got to do it manually. So now my payroll process goes from being a 7, 8, 9 minute process to 20, 30 minutes. And there again, 5 or 6 employees. Imagine if you have 20, 30 employees. How much time does that take? So that's where we get in this time and money dilemma.
Well, and your employees can opt out so that you don't if you have your 5 employees and all 5 opt out, then you don't have that headache. But if one doesn't opt out, that's something every single paycheck, you got to go into that. And it's illegal for you to say I want you to opt out. I'm going to roll in CalSavers, but I want you to opt out so that I don't have to go through all this process. You can't, do that.
Yeah, and we were talking about restaurants a moment ago. They low retention rate typically. So that means every time a new employee comes on, they're going to have to go ahead and go through the process each time an employee comes on. So whether everybody opts out and there's nothing to do, great. Well, the minute somebody else comes on board, you got to at least go through the process, and they're going to have to choose to opt out all over again.
Yeah, so, we have a client that owns a car wash, and that was the dilemma. The dilemma for them was, hey, we have 2 managers that would love to save for their retirement, but we got 35 other people that the moment we register them, they're just going to opt out. So what a waste of time and energy, right? So that's where the business owner really has to look at it. Now, on the next slide, what we're going to talk about is if you're a business owner and you're hearing this, or you go through the process of registering with CalSavers and you come to the conclusion that, wow, this is a lot more effort than I want, you can appoint a delegate, which on the screen, this is cut and paste from the CalSavers website. And so what happens when you go register with CalSavers, it'll ask you, do you want to appoint a delegate? And you can go in there, and when you choose this delegate, you can give them different permissions. There's 3 different permissions that give them different guidance of what they can access, what they can see, and what kinds of things they can and can't do. And when you name that delegate, that could be the person that helps you comply or service this CalSavers. So we would encourage everybody that's watching this and going through this that if they wanted to name Quiver Financial or Patrick or Justin, they're a delegate. Don't name me the delegate. I'm a horrible delegate. I only offend people. Delegates need to be gentle. Right, so
diplomatic
more diplomatic. Yeah. So I would say there is that as a business owner, if you're looking at this time money dilemma, that do know there is an alternative where professionals like us or your payroll provider or your tax person, somebody like that, could be named as a delegate.
And we do offer that delegate free of charge.
Every
time I move this, sorry,
it's like probably making them sick.
Yeah, well, I can't decide which bald guy is talking.
Well, you got 2 shiny cue balls to look at.
So good. All right.
So just emphasize the delegate aspect that we do offer is free of charge.
Look
It's
at
just
these-
a way to help reduce.
Look at these two attractive delegates.
Can you focus on a topic? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, I can't focus on the target. Come on.
That's why he's not the delegate.
I'm a money manager. We focus on things for minutes, not hours. All right. So it raises the question. If you're a business owner, you're hearing all this, you're saying, hey, I got 5 or more employees. Yes, I don't want to pay penalties to CalSavers. Where do I go for help? How do I get more information? One place, yes, you can go to the CalSavers website. There's plenty of information there. It's basically from the horse's mouth, and they've done it in a way that is very simple for you guys to get your answers. Another way, gentlemen, what's a better way for the CalSavers compliance?
Bald guy number one.
Bald guy number one.
All right, here we go. You're going to go to Quiver Financial, and that's where you're going to find all the resources you need. We're going to talk about all the options that you have, all the trials and tribulations that we've been through as a company, as an employer, individuals such as Patrick and I, employees. So great resource. I highly recommend it. Everything is there. Go to www.calsavers.com. Go to quiverfinancial.com/CalSavers retirement resources, and you'll find all sorts of videos, past videos we've done, and we're going to be bringing out others as well.
Yeah, we've done a lot of effort to make sure everybody knows. Patrick, you got anything you add there? Or
No, that's your best source. That, or the simplest, and we've said it in the other videos, is just call us and let us handle it for you. Why deal with it? You have a business to run. This is not part of your business that you need to be worrying about.
Why make your life hard? Just make it easy. Call us. All right. So let's wrap this up, folks. And
before we wrap it up, I just kind of want to get into really quick kind of the turnkey solution that we have.
All right.
And I think that's important. So
Yeah.
we didn't get into so much in detail with the 3 options. You got the CalSavers. You can probably go through your payroll company. If everything works out, we'd love to have you come on with us as your 401k provider. But I think what's important about that is your payroll provider is not a 401k specialist. They're just going to give you boilerplate stuff. And I think what's important here, you're not only going to get us that are going to bring you funds that are going to be able to help you grow your portfolio, but you're going to get us that are going to be contacting you. We're going to be putting out newsletters, which we're already doing, talking about markets, current stuff that's going on, how to give you guidance going forward. And I think that's what's important. I mean, if you're looking for, the old adage was, at least when I was growing up, and I think you can attest to this, or all of us can, is like, when you go find a job, what are you looking for? You want to find a job where they give you benefits, they give you health care, 401k, all of that stuff to keep your retention high. And so we can offer that, and we bring more of a turnkey solution than just your boilerplate. So I think that's important too.
Yeah, you know what? And I really neglected that in the sense that if you're going to comply with CalSavers, sure, your choices are go to CalSavers, do it manually, essentially, or if you want to make your life simple, do a private 401k plan that integrates all these things and consolidates it all, because as you hire and fire people, it's all going to be handled all through that process.
Well, it's kind of like what we brought up earlier. Don't think of this as a plan or a solution for your employees. Think of it for yourself. I mean, you're an employee of your business. Use it to save for your own retirement. I mean, you're not going to want to be putting your money into CalSavers. You're going to want to be putting into things that are actually going to grow your portfolio and have the potential. So think of it more so for yourself than your employees if it comes down to that.
Yeah, this is a watershed moment for business owners because, quite honestly, most business owners I know have sacrificed their retirement. They've sacrificed it because of IRSA rules. Because if you save for yourself as a business owner, you got to offer it to your employees. They sacrifice, and a lot of times their solution is, you know what, my business is my retirement, or I'll go buy real estate as my retirement, right? And so this is a time for somebody to really step back and say, hey, you know what, if I'm going to optimize my net worth, if I'm going to optimize my opportunities to get to retirement with the least amount of headache, a 401k is a great way to do it. And right now, you're being forced to do it, right? So you might as well get the biggest bang for your buck and get a program and a process that has also experts with it that can really help you optimize all these things.
Right.
All right. So CalSavers mandates. How will it impact your business is really important to understand. So there you have it, folks. Everything you need to know about CalSavers and complying with the new rules on retirement mandates. We want to make sure that you gain the greatest benefit from having to comply with these rules and make sure that you can optimize your opportunities. So what we're doing is we're offering a free CalSavers Analysis. Well, this is where we will sit down with you and help you analyze your business, your employee mix, to get an understanding of what is the best way for you as a business owner to both comply with CalSavers and also optimize your opportunities for retirement so you can retire a lot sooner than you ever imagined. Justin, Patrick, is there anything that that we didn't cover that you want to make sure we cover before we end for everybody that's paying attention here?
I think one thing to talk about is, Patrick and I were talking about this before we got started, and that is a lot of times I think for efficiency reasons, a business owner might choose their payroll provider like Paychex or ADP to handle their 401k or their retirement plan because it's very easy and to take care of and do, and they don't have to worry about another person. I would only object to that in a couple of ways. One being they're probably more expensive. Number two, and most importantly, do you think a payroll provider really focuses on 401ks?
Or just retirement planning.
Yeah,
Not
retirement plans, 401ks, any of it.
Investment options,
Right.
choices, fiduciary.
So, I mean, our plans, not to toot our own horn here, but we're significantly cheaper in many ways. But you also get, like we talked about a moment ago, kind of that turnkey solution. You're going to get people that are in the business of doing this, all three of us, looking at the markets and doing everything on a daily basis.
No, we're business owners that love other business owners and want to make sure everybody makes as much money as they can because that's how we all get along, right? So, right on time, gentlemen. We did this quick and easy, and I think we got everything across to everybody. So if there aren't any questions, we're going to thank everybody for joining us and get on with the rest of our day. So
that was pretty much everything.
All right. Well, I want to appreciate everybody for attending, and if you have questions, make sure and reach out to us at quiverfinancial.com. You'll find all the resources that you need for this CalSavers mandates. So until next time, take care, folks.